Kumbh Mela processions. From 2001 to 2008, did a series of discourses in TV programs, Atma through ITV of Mumbai, featured by Sony and Star TV, which is widely viewed by 3/4 of the world in Hindi language. Since 2004, he is traveling and preaching far and wide in India, Pakistan, Gulf countries, Mauritius, having base in Vrindavan, oftentimes teaches Bhakti Shastri, Bhagavad Gita for Vrindavan Institute of Higher Education. So we are very, very really fortunate. Today is a very auspicious day. We have Akshaya Tritiya, we have Chandan Yatra. So we really blessed to have Prabhu's association and hear Srimad Bhagavad Gita from him. So let us all very enthusiastically welcome Prabhu by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra 3 times. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees from Kanayades, you are all welcome. We are privileged that we have the opportunity to serve you. Today we're discussing Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, verse number 17, and something about Akshaya Tritiya and Chandan Yatra. So, Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha. Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadigaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees from Kanayades. We are all fortunate together that we are serving the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu under the auspicious guidance of His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and his many followers, which are really encouraging, inspiring, and enlivening us. So today we are discussing the second chapter and second section of the second chapter. The second section of the second chapter is the knowledge of the soul, Atma Gyan. This is called science. Prabhupada used to call science of soul. And this is called Guhya Gyan. Guhya means confidential. Then there will be Guhyatar Gyan, more confidential. And then there will be most confidential Guhyatam Gyan. So this knowledge, which is in chapter 2, the knowledge of the soul, is a confidential knowledge. Now we are reading today verse number 17. Avinashi tu tadvidhi yena sarvam idam tatam vinasham avyasyasya na kaschit karatum arati. Avinashi. Avinashi word means one which is not destroyed, one which cannot be destroyed. Avina means no, and Nashi means destroyed. Undestructible, Avinashi. And tu, the word tu actually means really, because this word tu has given some idea which Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is speaking, a different angle, the meaning of this verse. So generally tu means but. Tad vidhi, tad means about this soul, vidhi means know. You know about this undestructible element in the body. what is about the soul of I should know? Yena sarvam idam tatam. Yena means by that spark, spiritual spark. Sarvam idam tatam. If you take this sarvam means the whole body. By that presence of the soul, which is indestructible, this whole body is conscious. Consciousness or chetana in the body is due to the spiritual soul. This is one simple meaning. Vinashas avyasya. Vinashas avyasya. Na kaschit vinasham. This na kaschit will go with the vinasham. Na kaschit, not any time. No one can destroy. No one can destroy. Na kaschit vinasham kartum arati. No one can destroy this soul. Why? Avya, avyasya. Avyasya means, avya means, generally vya means expenditure. And avya means you expend, but still it remains same. Vaya, usually vaya means what is our monthly expenses called vaya. So if you have to say 2,000 rupees, you spend 1,500 rupees, then you have left with 500. But avya means you have 2,000, you spend 2,000, still you have 2,000. That's called avya. So know that is indestructible. By it, the body is pervaded. No one can destroy that which is indestructible. So, Srila Prabhupada translates this verse translation of this verse by Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Srila Prabhupada writes that which pervades the entire body. What is that pervade the entire body? Consciousness. You should know to be indestructible. Avinashi tu tadvidi. No one is able to destroy. Na kaschit vinasham. The imperishable soul. Avyasya. What I am really trying to convey to you, that when you read the verse and when you see the translation, try to find out the word in the verse and words in the translation and how they are correlated. So now Srila Prabhupada writes, this verse more clearly explains the real nature of the soul. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says this verse clarifies the meaning of the previous verse. Means verse number 16. Know this Jeev Tattva, which is spread through the body, Sarvam Idam Tatam, is indestructible. So, this is the explanation of the soul, which is indestructible. Now, one question, Chakravarti Pad is raising one question. But being spread throughout the body by its consciousness, this soul would be impermanent. Because it is of medium size only, being the size of a body. It only pervades one body. So body destroyed, then the which pervades body is also destroyed. It is medium size. Then Nyaya philosophy. Out of the 6 schools of philosophy, one is called Nyaya philosophy, logic. There are 3 sizes. Minute, which means pramanu or item. Medium size, the combination of item, and all pervading. A medium size object being made of the combination of items is subject to destruction and therefore cannot be eternal. This is the question. Chakravarti Pad then answers, this is not so. For the Lord says, Sukshammanamapi aham jiva. Sukshamnamapi mam jiva. Of all the small things, I am jiva. As well in the Shruti, this is what is on our book also, Srila Prabhupada quoted, Balagra shatabhagasya shatadha kalpitasya cha bhago jivasa vigneya. This is in Svetashwara Upanishad. One should note that the jiva, the size of 1/10,000 of tip of hair. By these statements of the Shruti, we understand that jiva is very small. It has the power to spread itself throughout the whole body. And then the example is given, Srila Prabhupada has some quoted example, which we'll read in our purport. Just as pulverized gems. Pulverized gems means, okay, we will read Srila Prabhupada's purport, but I'm just reading some comment from Chakravarti Pad. So, pulverized gem. Like, many people, you see, they have the gems in their fingers, some special type, and they have influence on their whole body, like this gemology, the science. Similarly, the medicine or herbs, which were put in the body, they influence the whole body. So these are the two examples given. So like the consciousness is throughout the body, and the analogy is given of a gem, pulverized gem, and also number 2, the medicine, Prabhupada writes. And Chakravarti said, herbs, which is same thing. So we are taking a small pill, but it has an effect on whole body. There is nothing extraordinary in being small and pervading the body. It's possible. Now, because the soul is having misidentification with body, is called upadhi, mistaken identity. The soul goes to various bodies. Now, this is another meaning of sarvagatam. Yena sarvam idam tatam. There is another meaning for this word now. Chakravarti Pal is giving another meaning. Because soul goes from one body to the other body, from one planet to the other planet, to the heaven, to the hell. In this way, soul is sarvagata, going everywhere, pervading everywhere. This is the another meaning of this soul, pervading everywhere. Consciousness pervading in our own body, but the soul pervades throughout the all planetary system. This is another meaning of sarvam idam tatam. The jivas are spread throughout the universe in different bodies. Thus, the soul's pervasion of the body, and still being minute, is not contrary to its eternal nature stated in the previous verse. Though it is all pervading, but it is eternal. Therefore, the word avyasya is used in this verse, which means imperishable. To refer to the soul being eternal or nitya, no one can destroy the eternal soul. And the Shruti says, Nityo nityanam chetas chetnanam eko bahunam vidhati kama. One conscious personality fulfills the desire of innumerable conscious particles, or the souls. And now Chakravarti Pad is giving another meaning, a meaning from a different angle. Say, the meaning of the verse can be as follows. The body, the Jiva Atma, and the Paramatma are all seen everywhere in all forms, such as human and animal. Yes, where there is a body, there is a soul, and there is a super soul. They all are everywhere, all pervading. Say 84,100,000 species of bodies, and everybody has a soul, and soul always accompanies super soul. So the first two, the body and jiva, were mentioned in the previous verse number 16. That body is perishable, soul is not perishable. So they are described. Now the third Paramatma is mentioned in this verse, another angle of vision. which Srila Prabhupada is not given in the purport, but this is in the purport of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So Prabhupada was once asked by his disciples, so which next book, Srila Prabhupada, are you going to write? Prabhupada said, Bhagavad Gita. He said, oh, you have already given Bhagavad Gita as it is. He said, I can write 10 more. Because there are different angles and different meanings of the different words. So there are, always we have to see the verse from the different meanings and different angles. So he said, so the third Paramatma is mentioned in this verse. It is indestructible and is spread everywhere in the universe, Idam. So here, the Idam, first interpretation, Idam means body. And second interpretation of the Idam means universe. The word tu, which is a small word in this verse, serve to distinguish Paramatma from the body and Jeev. Why the word tu is there? The word tu is distinguishing the verse 16, in which the soul and body are described. So this can also be understood like that. The Paramatma is by its very nature different from matter and Jeev. Now we are reading Srila Prabhupada's purport. In this verse, more clearly explain the real nature of the soul, which is spread all over the body. So here meaning of the body, Idam is body. Anyone can understand what is spread all over the body. What is spread all over the body? The spread all over the body is consciousness. Everyone is conscious of pain and pleasure of one's body. Whole body. Yeah, somebody can pull a small hair, we are conscious. So consciousness is pervading everywhere. And this consciousness is symptom of soul. Consciousness is symptom of soul. Okay, then Srila Prabhupada writes, this spreading of consciousness limited within one's own body. Because soul is only conscious of one's body. Therefore, he's called Kshetragya. Body is called Kshetra, or field of activities, and soul is called Kshetragya, the knower of the field of activities. But there's another Kshetragya who is in all bodies and knows about all bodies like a government. You have the knowledge of your own field as a farmer or a landlord, but government has the knowledge of the all fields. So there's another Kshetragya, super soul. So Prabhupada writes, soul has a consciousness pervading only in his own body. Therefore, each and every body is the embodiment of an individual soul, and symptom of the soul is presence is perceived by individual consciousness. So one line we must remember, the proof of the presence of the soul is consciousness. And then Srila Prabhupada writes, this soul is described as an 1/10,000th part of the upper portion of the tip of the side, point of the size of the hair. This is Shvetashvara Upanishad, which we have read, the Balagra Shata Bhagasya. Bal means hair. Agar means the point. And Shata Bhagasya means 100 parts. Shata Da Kalpitasya, and make 100 more of that, so 10,000s. Bhago Jivasa Vigneya, know that the small soul is of that size. When the upper point of the hair is divided into 100 parts, and again each of that part is further divided into 100 parts, each such parts measurement of the dimension of a spirit soul. Similarly, same version is stated. Kleshagarshata bhagasya sattangsha sadrishatmaka Jiva Sukshama Swarupayam Sankhyaatito hi Chitakshana. There are innumerable particles of the spiritual item. It means there are souls are innumerable, which are measured as 1/10,000 of upper portion of the hair. So there is a multitude of the souls. There are multiple number. Nityanam is a plural. Therefore, the individual particle of the spirit soul is a spiritual item. smaller than the material items. But Srila Prabhupada is saying Pramanu, Anu Pramanu. Generally, science knows atom, and then now they saw electron, proton. But the soul is more subtler than material dimensions of anything. It's very subtle. That's what Dr. Bigelow, the heart surgeon, asked from Prabhupada, that when we operate on the heart of a patient, all of a sudden we declare the body is dead. What is that which is less? And then we call the body is dead. Prabhupada said there is a soul which leaves the body. And then the doctor said, how can we not see that? Prabhupada is so subtle that it's beyond your microscopic vision. Even you use your own telescope, microscope, or whatever the minute thing you can discriminate, soul cannot be seen. The presence of soul is only conceived through consciousness. And then doctor says, well, we change the heart, then what happened to soul? And Prabhupada said, okay, I am sitting on a chair, and you want to really take this chair, then you have to give me the other chair, then I'll sit on the other chair. So if you take the heart, then soul will go to the next heart you put inside. What is the problem? So Srila Prabhupada is here saying, there are innumerable souls. This very small spiritual part is the basic principle of material body. Basic principle of material body means existence of material body is dependent on soul. When soul enters, even in the womb, it's not that all sperms carry the soul. No. Only one selected sperm used to carry the soul, and that is under Deva Netrena. Deva Netrena means under the supervision of superior authorities. Particular soul, well, the soul is coming through the rain, going to the grain, from the grain coming to the man. When he eats, it becomes blood, and from blood it becomes semen. But then in semen, only millions of sperm, only one can carry the soul. And when that soul enters there, then the embryo increase in size. If there's soul not there, there's no increase in size. So soul is the basic. Prabhupada said soul is the basic principle of material body, and influence of such a spiritual spark is spread all over the body as the influence of the active. Well, there's the analogy now we are coming. But what I was telling is that Prabhupada used to give example. Baby is born because soul is there. His size is increasing because soul is there. Dead baby cannot increase in size. So presence of soul is a basic principle. And this is only the blindness of modern civilization. They are not concerned with the basic principle of the body, which is soul. They are spending time and money on simply the body, but they are not concerned about the importance of the most important basic principle of the body, soul. It is by the presence of the soul, the whole body is functioning. And then Srila Prabhupada writes, they spread all over the body, and the example, analogy. Prabhupada is giving analogy. How it is spread? As the influence of active principle of some medicine is spread throughout the body. Cyanide just put on a tongue, and it's spread all over the body, and person dies. Nobody has written the taste of the cyanide. It only read is the sweet or sour, we don't know, salt, we don't know. It is spread so quickly. The snake bite, the venom, in a moment it is spread all over the body, and blood becomes thin, and there's a bleeding. Similarly, the medicine given. And the other example given, we have read the Chakravarti Pad has given the gems. When we put, they have their influence on our stars and all our what's called astrological calculations. Yeah, there are different. So Prabhupada is giving this analogy. The analogy is compared, medicine is compared to the soul, and its influence on the whole body is compared to the consciousness. This current of the spirit soul is felt all over the body as consciousness. And there is the proof of the presence of the soul. Any layman can understand that the material body minus consciousness is a dead body. So how we know the body is in front of our eyes. We have seen so many deaths in the families and friends. So what is that death? What is death? The body is there, and we say, oh, my grandfather is gone. Where is he gone? The body is in front of our eyes. So what is gone? The gone is soul. It means we were actually relating ourselves to the soul, not to the body. Nobody keep the body, a dead body, one day. Everybody wants to dispose the body as soon as possible. As soon as soul is left, they have no interest in body at all. But by the time they realize the soul has already gone. This is the actually confusion of modern civilization. They realize the soul by the time the soul has already departed the body. And then again, they become illusion very quickly by the influence of Maya, the material energy. So Srila Prabhupada writes, any layman can say this. And this conscious can be revived. A layman can understand that material body minus consciousness, dead body. And this consciousness cannot be revived in the body by any means of material administration. Material administration means giving medicine or doing anything, but you cannot bring back consciousness. Prabhupada used to say, well, this is a scientist, this is a dry tree. Now you know all the component of the tree, all chemicals. You put an injection and inject in the tree, let the tree come back to life. You cannot do this because life comes from life. Life is not coming from chemicals. So Prabhupada used to give challenge like that. Life comes from life. Life is not coming from chemicals. You know the constant of body. The whole body is worth of 200 rupees. The iron is hardly one nail. The phosphorus is head of the one matchstick. This whole composition of body is like calcium is hardly this much. So is this body important? 200 rupees? We are just working for the 200 rupees worth of chemicals? No. Soul. But unfortunately, people are not trained about the science of soul in any of the existing universities, school or colleges, and that is the biggest lamentation of a saintly person. This is sorry to say that there's no science of soul taught anywhere in the body, and therefore people are completely frustrated and in a chaos. Srila Prabhupada writes, therefore consciousness is not due to any amount of material combination, but to the spirit soul. In Monduk Upanishad, the measurement of activity spirit soul is further explained. Esho anuratma chetasa vide tavayo yasmin prana panchada samvivesha pranaschitam sarvam otam protam otam prajanam yasmin vishuddhe vibhatya esha atma. Now this verse Srila Prabhupada is given from Monduk Upanishad, which said, soul is atomic in size and can be perceived by perfect intelligence. Can be perceived by perfect intelligence. So the which intelligence is perfect and which is imperfect. Intelligence is called buddhi. And there are two types of intelligence. One is called sati mati. Sati mati is the intelligence which is focused on the soul and super soul. Sati means chaste. And polluted intelligence is called asati mati. Asati mati means polluted intelligence, which is called puranjani. Or in the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Pura means the body, and Ranjan means enjoying. The soul enjoying the body is that intelligence, Puranjani, the wife of the Puranjan. Puranjan is soul, and Puranjani is called the intelligence, the polluted intelligence. So Srila Prabhupada said by perfect intelligence, the intelligence which is perfect. How can we perfect our intelligence? Intelligence is compared to the driver or Sarthi. Arjuna has perfected his intelligence by allowing Krishna to sit in the place of a chariot driver. So body is a chariot. Perfect intelligence is one in which Krishna is situated. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mai eva manadasva mai buddhim niveshaya. Nivas means place of residence. Krishna is saying, you make me sit in your intelligence. That intelligence is a perfect intelligence. And that intelligence Krishna gives to the sincere devotee called Buddhi Yogam, Dadami Buddhi Yogam. Only that which is given Buddhi Yoga can understand really the nature of the soul, the constitution of the soul, and the relation and act according to the relation of the constitution of the soul, that is Jivera Swarupa Krishnera Nityadas. That is the meaning here, Srila Prabhupada. So where is the soul? The another angle of understanding soul. Where is soul? Soul is floating in the 5 types of air called Pran. Pran, Apan, Saman, Vyan, Udan. These are the 5 major prana or life air, and there are 5 minor prana. They carry the soul. Soul is floating in that. Now the whole science of pranayama or a yoga system, Prabhupada writes here, Hatha Yoga, which is more or less like Ashtanga Yoga. The whole purpose is to purify the prana. So Prabhupada writes here, this atomic soul is floating in the 5 kinds of air. Prana, Pan, Vyan, Saman, and Udan. Is situated within the heart. Now, is this physical heart? No. There's a subtle heart also. Like this eye is not actually eye. This is the eye box. Original eye is on the mind. And where is mind? I'm reading a book about the Jew temple building, and the person who was instrumental in really getting permission and building something for residents, Mr. Sethi, Prabhupada says he's a Kshatriya and he's ready to fight. And he asked, Sethi, have you seen dead bodies? He said, I worked on dead bodies. He said, I have seen a strange thing. And Prabhupada said, what is that? He said, we were coming in a tanga, a horse cart, and some people from the other religion, they wanted to kill in the time of partition sometime. And we had dagger and something. And one of our friends has cut his head. His head was thrown and he was running without head. Or in Mahabharata, we say that without head, he was running. Prabhupada said, how can somebody run if there is no mind? It means mind is not in the brain. Mind is within the heart. Prabhupada wrote that they don't know where is the mind. Mind is within the heart. So this is not the physical things which are really, we can refer, like a geographical things we cannot really see in a Mahabharata. There are different changes. So similarly, we cannot really see the physical heart, no. So it's probably, pranas are in the heart. Or these pranas goes with the soul, with the subtle body. Mind goes and mind has all the senses on the subtle body also. This ear is a box. The ear box is a hearing box, but actually where the hearing is registered is on the mind. And mind is within the heart. And soul is encapsulated in this subtle body of mind, intelligence, false ego, and polluted consciousness. So this prana situated within the heart and it spread its influence all over the body, of the embodied living entities. So prana is going everywhere. The soul is purified from the contamination of the five kinds of material air, and a spiritual influence is exhibited. It means by pranayam, we control what is the function of pranayam? To control mind. It means ultimately mind needs to be controlled to understand soul. So Hatha Yoga, Prabhupada writes Hatha Yoga. Actually, Hatha means force. I want to do it, I will do it. It's like more commitment. It's meant for controlling the five kinds of life air, circulating in a pure soul. Circulating the pure soul by different kinds of sitting postures. Not for any material profit, but for liberation of a minute soul from the entanglement of material atmosphere. So Prabhupada says yoga is not for bhoga, for enjoyment, becoming free from disease. No. The yoga means to know the soul and getting free soul from the entanglement of the body. So the constitution of the atomic soul is admitted in all Vedic literature. Constitution. Constitution means nature of the soul. That is consciousness. Is very active. Is living force. Is a basic principle of the body. This is all explained in the Vedic literature. And it is also actually felt in a practical experience of any sandman. So it means how many sandmen are there? Hardly few. Most are insane. Only the insane man can think of this atomic soul as all-pervading Vishnu Tattva. What Prabhupada is writing here is, those who say Atma and Paramatma are same, they are insane. Vishnu cannot be only in one body. He is all-pervading. Vishnu means Vasati Sarvatra, all-pervading. So soul and super soul are two different things. They should never be mixed. If somebody is mixing two as a one, he is insane. The influence of the atomic soul can be spread all over particular body. According to the Mondaka Upanishad, this atomic soul is situated in the heart of every living entity. And because the measurement of the soul is beyond the power of appreciation of the material scientists, some of them are said foolishly that there's no soul. Because they cannot see, so they said we cannot see so many things. Can you show me your mind? No. So many things we don't see, but we understand that if this person is intelligence, he has intelligence, he's sane, he's insane, he has a mind, he's mindless, he's useful, useless, but we cannot see most of the things. A joke people would used to say, somebody says, show me God. And he slapped on his face. He said, what are you doing? He said, what happened? He said, so much pen. He said, show me pen. I cannot show pen. Then how can I show you God? You are not able to show me the pen which you are crying. So nobody can know, show the pen. You are suffering, okay. Because we can see that you are suffering, so there must be pen. But nobody can show. A big scientist and a small boy, he said, I don't believe in God's soul and God. Oh, and then there was some bull going and he's passed the stool. He said, can you tell me which stool is this? He said, no, I don't know. He said, you are not able to know the stool of the bull. Bull sit. You don't know this. And you say there's no God. So people are so foolish, Prabhupada said. They are foolish because they cannot perceive by their mechanical experimental knowledge. This knowledge is called, of the modern science knowledge is called ascending process. Avaroha Pantha. That will never give conclusion. We have to get our Aroha Pantha, or a descending principle from the Guru Parampara, then we can understand. The difference between scientific knowledge is that first you understand and then accept. And spiritual knowledge is first you accept and then understand. They are completely two different poles, like a day and night. So Srila Prabhupada, the individual atomic soul is definitely there in the heart along with the super soul. And thus all the energies of the bodily movements are emanating from this part of the body. The corpuscles, now Prabhupada is saying how the consciousness which is carried to the body is through corpuscles, red blood corpuscles, which carry the oxygen. The corpuscles which carry the oxygen, which means red blood cells, from the lungs gather energy from the soul. Where is soul, we don't know. But they carry energy from soul. When the soul passes away from this position, the activity of the blood generating fusion means oxygen fusing with the red blood cells stops. Now this corona has created this another big confusion that oxygen level goes down. And RBCs, red blood cells, they are not carrying oxygen. What is happening to that? Nobody knows. They push oxygen from outside cylinders, oxygen concentrators, and then the ventilators. So if, as long as soul is there, the oxygen can combine with the RBCs. If the soul is not there, then all their machines cannot do anything. Then their machines are like the blacksmith's machine, which is also giving air, but there's no life. So these air concentrators you have there in your Kanaya Desh, because now these are needed everywhere. All in our temple, we got one donated from somewhere. It's not, I think, costly, maybe worth 60,000-70,000 rupees. Now it was 35,000 rupees. But now almost each temple is buying or getting some donated this oxygen concentrators. So the Prabhupada is saying if soul is there, then oxygen will combine. So Prabhupada writes, medical science accepts the importance of the red corpuscles, but it cannot ascertain that the source of the energy is the soul. They don't know the source of the energy which make the red blood cell corpuscles fuse with the oxygen, carry it, deliver it. They don't know from where this force is coming. Medical science, however, does admit that the heart is the seat of energies of the body. Your heart is like a pump sending blood everywhere and giving nutrition everywhere. So that such atomic particle of the spirit whole is compared to the sunshine. Now Prabhupada is giving another analogy. Sunshine, there are so many particles in one ray of sun. So sunshine, which means the particles, molecules. In the sunshine, there are innumerable radiant molecules. Similarly, fragment parts of the supreme Lord are atomic part. It means Lord is like a sun, and the small particles which are as a light, they are the soul. So compared here is like that. Supreme Lord is like a sun, and the rays don't engage with anyone. What is that? All right, so these particles are molecules of the sunshine and the sun. Sun is like a supreme Lord, and molecules are like a soul. So one sun is there, but there unlimited molecules are there. Supreme Lord and atomic sparks, rays of the Supreme Lord, called the Prabha. Prabha means actually shining. Or superior energy, Prabha, superior energy coming from. So whether one follow the Vedic knowledge or modern science, one cannot deny the existence of spirit soul in the body, and the science of the soul is explicitly described in Bhagavad Gita by the personality of Godhead himself, Sri Krishna. So here ends our purport of this verse. Now, Akshaya Tritiya or the Chandan Yatra. For a few minutes, I will speak on that, and if you have some question or comment, we can discuss. Actually, Akshaya means undestructible, like soul. Kshay means destroyed. Means not destroyed. And Tritiya means third day. Tritiya means third day. In the month of Vaishak, we are in the month of Vaishak. May. This is April, May, or May, June, May. And we are in a bright fortnight. And the third day of bright fortnight of month of Vesak is called Akshaya Tritiya. Akshaya means imperishable, Tritiya means third day. It means whatever you do on this day, it is permanent, and there is no muhurat is needed on this day for any auspicious work. And there are so many simultaneous things on that day. And the one thing is that Treta Yuga started on this day. And the barley seed, which is the most important ingredient for sacrifice, also appeared on this day. And Mother Ganga descended from the celestial planet onto the earth on this day. Parashuram appeared on this day. And Vidyadhwaja, one of the Madhva Acharya's most potent commentator, powerful on Bhagavatam, disappear on this day. And there is a Akshay Patra in a Madhva Sampradaya still. They worship on this day a part which is called Akshay Patra. And today still we know in Udupi, the prasad is available for all the pilgrims, maybe 100,000, 200,000, at least rice and rasam everybody will get. But also there is a wonderful sweet rice and other prasad given to the pilgrims freely because they have Akshay Patra. And this Akshay Patra is also known to be given by sun god to Maharaj Yudhishthira, which Draupadi used to keep. And there's a full story about that part also you might be knowing. And on that day, actually, Chandan Yatra, which is celebrated for 21 days or something like that, in Jagannath Puri, Lord Jagannath wanted really to have this whole body covered with the best pest, and best pest is Chandan, and it's the beginning of the summer season. And in summer season, the summer season starts with the Chandan Yatra. And then Utsav Murti are the deities which are for the festival. They come out in a boat. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu really enjoyed this festival of Chandan Yatra. Before it will continue for 20 days. The at least face of the deities are covered by the Chandan. Today we will have it, not today, tomorrow in India. In ISKCON we are following this Chandan Yatra, Akshaya Tritiya. And on this date, usually Char Dham, the Badrinath, Kedarnath, Jamnotri, Gangotri, their doors open on this date. And it will continue till 6 months. And then they close up by Diwali. So Akshaya Tritiya is somehow very, and people also get the grains and everything in this season of, I think, the wheat and other grains have come by the March, April. So Akshaya Tritiya, which we celebrate in ISKCON as a Chandan Yatra, which is starting tomorrow. And any auspicious date, japa, other things done on this day, the benefit is enormous, unlimited. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Any question or comments? I close my talk here. If you have any question or comment, you are welcome. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for so wonderfully, detailedly explaining this about the soul, which is a very basic thing for spiritual life to understand that you are not this body. Thank you, Prabhu. And also for beautifully explaining the significance of Akshaya Tritiya and the Chandan Yatra. Please have any questions on Prabhu's question?
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam Sarvabauma Prabhu and all assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna, Dandot.
Prabhu, thank you very much for the detailed explanation of the subject matter. Prabhuji, a simple doubt only about the Sanskrit meaning of Vishnu you told. What is Sarvatra?
Sarvatra means everywhere.
That okay, no.
Means everywhere.
That okay, Prabhu. Before that, you used a word, the Sanskrit meaning of Vishnu. Vishwadi Sarvatra, something like that. You remember?
Sorry, say again.
The literal meaning of word Vishnu. These two parts.
Vishnu means we all pervading. Like Vasati Sarvatra.
Vasadi Sarvatra. Okay, thank you for that.
Right. Yeah.
Understood. Thank you. Vasadi. Vasadi is the word.
Right. Same is
And
for Vasudev. Vasudev also same thing. Vasudeva Sarvatra. Vasati
Yes.
Sarvatra. Vasati means
Vasati.
residing. Yeah.
Residing. Vasa sthala.
Right.
Second thing, Prabhu, that Avaroha Krama is the descending order, no? Like Aroha
Yeah,
Krama
we are
is
in
the,
Avaraho Panta. Avaraho means descending.
Sorry. Aroha is the modern research method.
Aroha is a modern science going up, yeah, ascending process.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dharma Pradam Prabhu. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji, for giving such a wonderful explanation of this verse and Nakshatritiya also. And it's our pleasure, Prabhu, to hear from you, Prabhuji. Prabhu, my question is, you talked about this, and we heard that the soul is indestructible in this verse. And we also read in the Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter, Dvamimo Purusho Loke, that Kshara Akshara Evacha. There are two kinds of souls, which is fallible and infallible. So that aspect, Prabhu, fallibility aspect, which is always there with the soul, especially for the conditioned soul. So although they're not destructive, but the fallibility aspect is there, right, Prabhuji?
Right, there is a 15th chapter. There is the meaning given by the two types of soul. One is liberated soul and one is called conditioned soul. There are two words used. One is Ksharakshar. The other language is used Jiva Bhut and Brahma Bhut. Jiva Bhut means conditioned soul. Brahma Bhut means liberated soul. So the soul can be conditioned, soul can be liberated. But by now we know from 15th chapter there are two categories of the soul basically. One is eternally liberated, one is eternally conditioned.
Right.
Now we are internally conditioned soul in this conditioned world, in this conditional world. Now we are practicing actually the different methods, like some will practicing Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga or Dhyana Yoga. But ultimately we have to reach to the Bhakti Yoga to get ourselves free from conditioning. So all our process of devotional service is to be free from stage of conditioning and become liberated. So we have to reach to the Brahma Bhuta stage. And for that only the method is bhakti. Avibicharena bhakti yogena sagunan samataitetana brahma. And then after Brahma Bhuta prasannatmana sochati na kankchati sama sarveshu bhutechu mad bhaktim labhate param. Then the real para bhakti or superior devotional service or pure devotional service start after liberation. So after liberation, really, the pure devotional service starts.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Right.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Just I also have some kind of, I need some understanding from you. Like Prabhu, the people ask, like when there is a worm which is cut, that worms, when it divide becomes two and it gets like individual life and goes. So in that case, that the soul enters the worm, or how? Like when we there is a certain species like they grow when they cut. So how is that? Prabhu, like to understand.
Oh, it's a very interesting question. It's not killable. It's not that one soul becomes two souls, but at one time there are multiple souls enter in a different species. Like a scorpion gives a birth to the 100 small eggs. So these are so many eggs are there. But still, I'm really very much concerned about when the embryo aborted by Gandhari, by Vyasadeva put in 100 earthen parts, which is test tube, and then became 100 Kauravas. So how the 100 souls came there in a one womb? This is only Vyasadeva can do. But when I talk on this, I will tell to the people, this test tube baby will be a problem. Like the Kauravas don't do this, otherwise there will be a big Kurukshetra war again. All these test tube babies are problem for us. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Do you have any other questions? Many Krishna Krishna Prabhu.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Sarvabauma.
Yes.
Thank you very much for explaining the
Oh, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
condition.
Bhagavad
Jai.
Vani,
Hare
Bhagavad
Krishna.
Gita ki jai. Thank you very much for giving opportunity to serve you. Thank
Hare
you. See
Krishna.
you again someday. Hare
On behalf
Krishna.
of all the assembled devotees and Kanya Desh Yatra, we wish to give our great.
Yeah, 2 times I
thanks.
visited Bhai Kanaya Desh. Somehow I have
Yes,
relation.
Prabhuji.
I saw this Birj Prakash. I lived at their home. I
Yes,
lived
sir.
with some other family also there anyway. And I
Yes,
think
Prabhu.
last year we had the Braj Mandal, the Parikarma on
Yes, Prabhu.
virtual.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Thank you.
Anyway, right.
Prabhu.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
So you want to
Prabhuji, we would like
our
to thank you formally by chanting Hare Krishna. Please
Do you
wait
like
one
Sorry?
minute.
You
our
like the
gratitude by
Thank you
chanting
formally.
3
Please
times
wait
Hare
one more
Krishna
minute.
Mahamantra.
We would like to express our gratitude by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra 3
Hare
times.
Krishna. Hare
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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama.
Ram
Rama,
Ram.
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram.
Rama, Rama
Rama,
Rama.
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna.
Hare Vancha
Thank you very much.
Kalpatarupasya.
Vancha
Kripa
Kripa
Sambhava.
Sindhubhyo
Patitana
Padiganam
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Nanda Kodi Vaishnava Jai
Jai
Jai Bhakti
Jai.
Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai
Jai.
His Grace Sarvabauma Prabhu ki Jai
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Today's Prabhuji explained it's Akshaya Tritiya. Very wonderful day for sacrifice. So we are as usual. Last year we done that Bhagavatam distribution. The same way this year also we are doing this Srimad Bhagavatam distribution. You can donate Bhagavatam on this day. It is very important. So you can come forward. We will be doing this Bhagavatam distribution this year also. Please come forward. And as usual, we have this deity worship courses going on. Please, those who are interested, you can join today also and tomorrow also. We will be continuing at 2:30 p.m. And those who are not registered, you can register and you can join for the class. And as usual, our regular programs will be continued. Today evening there is Chaitanya Charitamrita class will be there at 6 p.m. And tomorrow morning Bhagavatam class, evening 10th canto little study class will be there. So please utilize these all opportunities and be spiritualized. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, any other announcements?
No, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So we'll continue with Guru Puja.
Ram, yes, Prabhu. No, yes.
Yeah, Guru Puja you can continue.
From YouTube, you can disconnect.